Can't believe it, the moment has finally arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Dare Kodiak 100. Let's check it out. Welcome back to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is your boy FlyIsland guy, and today we are in the Kodiak 100. Finally, the Simworks Kodiak 100 that was released today. I bought it as soon as was physically possible, and I've been taking some time to try and get a little bit of a feel for it, and I'm not afraid to admit that I have crashed it once or twice already. Folks, this plane does not feel like any default plane. I found it to be very kind of twitchy. You got to be very light with the controls. The engine is very powerful. It pulls to the left a lot, which is common for single engine aircraft. So like you really have to compensate for that. Like I've actually had to set rudder trim in order to do that. So we're gonna see how that goes today. I'm gonna try not to crash it now that we're actually recording, and we're gonna go from there. Let's take a quick look at the aircraft. This is one of the liveries that comes with it. This is the model that has the I forget what this is called. Hear the sound change. I forget this is called, like the cargo something. I forget what it's called. But this is the model that has this like cargo hold at the bottom of the aircraft. Now, as everyone can see from first glance, the Kodiak looks very much like a caravan. However, it is a little smaller, and there's a lot of very unique design changes. Well, not changes, but design features specific to this aircraft. So the engine is a little more powerful than the caravan. They also have this unique wing design, as you can see here. The aircraft is actually a lot smaller as well. And I had to stop recording for a quick second because family decides to just come and talk to me. Don't ask me what I'm doing. But anyway, as I was saying, there's some unique design changes. Everything about this aircraft, like even the wing struts and the main gear struts, all designed to provide lots of lift. I forget these things here are called at the back, but they're supposed to provide more stability during flight as well. And yeah, it's overall just a pretty sweet aircraft. I like to call it the Rolls Royce of bush planes, basically because it's really modern, really powerful, but it's been tailor-made for that kind of the short takeoff and landing operations. Let's hop into the cockpit and let's get started, folks. Alright, so I'm not going to go too in depth in terms of the procedures here. The aircraft does come with a checklist that you can use. Very detailed checklist at that. Look at this box landing here. So it tells you what to do. If it gives you a checklist for basically aborting your landing, which is cool. But I'm just going to try and basically rush through and kind of get us in the air as quickly as possible. There's been great attention to detail inside here as well. As you can see, these doors do open, so you can unlock them and then open them. Same here. You can unlock these doors and open these as well. That one has to open first. And you can open that. And let's go ahead and let's close this door real quick. Even the cup holder here works. This is your little passenger window here. I forget what the name of this is. This works as well. All of these circuit breakers, they all function. And there's only really a couple knobs inside here that actually don't work. That is pretty cool. Even the vents work. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's get these doors closed up, and we'll get the engine fired up, and we're going to get out of here as soon as possible. Alright, it's a very windy day here in Barbados as well. So, listen keenly to the engines, the sounds of the engine as we get started. Well, not engine, the sounds of the aircraft just in general, just all the electrical noises. Alright, so we got your PFD, your MFD over here. Once you have the master battery switch on, you can go ahead and get your avionics bus, as well as auxiliary bus, which powers other electrical equipment around the aircraft. Don't know why my throttle's at full. Let's turn that off. We're going to get our nav lights on, and sorry, and as well we have kind of plotted a pretty much a straight course. We're here in Barbados, as I mentioned, and we're going to be going over to St Lucia. Have a straight course plotted, but what we will do is we're going to go to procedures and approach. Oops. And select an approach. We're going to do the RNAV 09 approach. Transition is the BNE transition, that's fine. And then we can go ahead and just load it. So this is the actual sequence of the approach. We'll go ahead and load it. So this aircraft is compatible with the GNX, the G1000 NXI add-on. I'm pretty much using the default one right now. Although in future videos I will try and venture to using the G1000 NXI. Alright, so we have our approach all plotted. Let's see. Yep, it's looking good. So this is actually about 100 nautical miles over to Castries in St Lucia. This is a small airport over here. I don't even know if I still have the scenery installed. I hope I do. If not, it's going to be a very boring looking airport when we approach it. But for now, I'm really just testing out the Kodiak. Alright, so all this is done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to program our flight. So we'll not program our flight, put in just all the autopilot goodness. Cruise altitude for today is 8,000 feet. And we're going to use flight level change mode once we get in the air. So in this aircraft you can overtorque the engine. So there are calculations for torque settings that you can use for takeoff and all that good stuff. So I know for actually, let me look at the takeoff roll, sea level. Oh, this is calculating the distance. Alright, so then the torque for today, here in St Lucia, it's close to 30 degrees C. So according to, and we're about 200 feet above sea level or something like that there. So according to that, these calculations here, I'm going to just assume we're at sea level and say for our torque settings, we could use 60 and 40 for takeoff. I can tell you now, 60 and 40 almost feels like too much, because you're off the ground so fast in this aircraft. It's tough not to feel like you're using too much power. All right, so since that is done, we're just gonna go ahead and get the engine started today. As I said, for another video, we'll go through the sorry, we'll go through the kind of procedures a little more in depth, but for now, just all about getting a feel for the aircraft and just kind of showing you guys what it's all about. I'm sure mine's going to be one of a million videos out there, but be sure to like this one, you know what I mean? Okay, so for our start procedures, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get our fuel pump on. Let's get our beacon on as well. And we'll turn the ignition. And let's just do the low motor start. I'm not 100% sure why you'd want to do one versus the other, but you do have that option. And then we're looking for our NG to rise to 15% before we add fuel. Is it 21? Sorry, going to low idle. And you got to take this guy to feather as well. And what did I do wrong again? So I might not have done anything wrong. Oh, I know what I've done. First things first, folks. If you're going to actually start an engine, you should add some fuel. Alright. So, let's shut this off. And let's try this one more time. There we go. That was the fuel cutoff. That's what it was. As I said, we'll go through this more in depth next time. The engine is starting though. Take that guy out of feather as well. Everything is looking good. Our MP is rising. ITT is still in the green. And our torque should settle at around 300 pound-feet of torque. Oh, should get there at some point. I think that's when it's in high idle. Alright. So I'm not going to taxi in high idle because this plane absolutely rockets when you do that. But we're gonna go and not gonna worry with pitot heat today because we're in the Caribbean and it's really warm here. I'm gonna go taxi lights on. Generators and our alternator can come on as well. And then we can get our starter off and our ignition off as well. Fuel pump can go off too. Alright. So we're going to be departing runway 9 today. Which is going to be behind us, and then we'll be turning left on the runway. Alright, we'll set our flaps for takeoff. According to the manual, we do flaps 20 for takeoff. Alright. We're just going to come straight onto the runway. It's no need to taxi all the way to the end because we're not going to use up very much runway at all. Going to set our parking brakes. Strobes can come on. Landing lights on. You can also set them to pulse as well if you want. Let's take a quick look at that. Block your ears. They are not pulsing. Oh. So it was on, that's why. Still not seeing the pulse. Man, I have no idea what's happening. Alright. Landing lights are on. There we go. Bright and shiny and ready to go. Alright, and for takeoff, we are going to go into high idle. Now they said that when you set max power, the aircraft is going to really pull to the left. So they say they should set about 30 to 50 degrees or 30 to 50. Just checking here. 30 to 50% right trim. So we're gonna try and do that, and let's go take off, folks. Gonna set our torque to 1690. There we go. I actually set my trim a little too much. So it actually ended up pulling to the right on takeoff. But there we go, folks. That's literally all it took to get into the air. And if you set your trim just right, the aircraft should just fly straight, which is good. Now it's moving a little to the right. Now our torque setting is actually really low, so I don't know about the 60 and 90 if that's just like max torque or sorry. That's the torque you should be setting. I don't know. Alright, so let's switch our CDI source to GPS and we'll turn on our autopilot. Let's go nav mode. And I'm going to set my climb to flight level change. There we go. To give it a little more power for it to climb. But as you can see, I actually over torqued it just now. And we set it to about 101 for climb. There we go. And it flaps up all that time too, or it flaps down. So it's got a pretty nifty climb rate at 101. You should be getting a pretty good rate of climb. Let's see what our weight is right now. So weight is about 5,000 pounds. So with a climb speed of 101, we should be getting about we should be getting about like close to 2,000 feet per minute. This looks about right. And as we get a little higher, the rate of climb is going to change. So as things start to decrease, as the temperature starts to decrease outside, our rate of climb, according to this guy here, should actually start to increase. If I'm reading that right. So right now we are, as a climate, we are 26 degrees C is where we were. So it would have been somewhere in between these two for our rate of climb. And at max climb torque, I'm assuming the rate of climb should be increasing as we go up, but I might be wrong about that. Oops, my bad. This is beautiful Barbados below us. absolutely stunning from above. You guys know how I feel about island flying. So what I'm going to be doing is once we get the Kodiak into on air, which should happen some point soon, I'm going to be taking the Kodiak up to Canada, and we're just going to be venturing around there. Alright, so we're about to hit our cruise altitude of 8,000 feet. And if we do max cruise torque, we're doing a max cruise torque of 2200 RPM. That's what we should be looking for. That just seems, well, this is actually right here, 2200. Our fuel flow, 8,000 feet. Don't really know what the outside temperature is, which is why you need something like the G1000 NXI. Let's go ahead and adjust our rudder trim as well. We look down there. You're pointing more to the right. You don't really need to do that. Cruise speed right now is climbing. I think we should be getting to about maybe 160, 170, maybe more. Would love to see that. So this aircraft isn't as fast as like King Air, nowhere as fast, but definitely still very powerful. Let's go outside and take another look. Good stuff. Okay, well, it's trying to reach 150 knots right now. I don't have my torque maxed out. I actually pulled it back, so I've got to see what my cruise setting should be. Takeoff distance. So takeoff torque, 2200 RPM. I think it's supposed to be, you guys are gonna have to let me know how to read this. I don't know if this means the altitude that you're taking off from, or does this mean that like when you reach these altitudes, this is what your torque should be at these altitudes. Not too sure. I'm assuming this means that if the airport is at 4,000 feet above sea level and it's 10 degrees outside, then your takeoff torque should be set to 1680. I think that's what that means. But yeah, this is the manual here. Trying to close this. Actually, let's zoom out a little bit. Yeah, so this is the manual here. It didn't come with the most, the most in-depth manual. It really just kind of introduces you to the different systems, and then yeah, just kind of shows you where everything is in the plane. Sorry. Different type of variants that you're going to get of the aircraft. Tells you how to set your payload. So this is something I need to kind of go back and read. Alright, so it's showing you your max climb torque here. This is all your engine settings, which are good. So this is actually something I should be paying attention to. So right now, if we're just flying at max torque settings, is the plane kind of flying tilted to one side? Sure why it's doing that. It's sort of weird. Actually, maybe it's because you kind of have this crosswind. I don't know. Kind of odd to see it doing that. I'm just setting the aileron trim as well. To get more level flight. Alright. So yes, as I said, this is a pretty quirky aircraft to fly. I do not find it very easy at all. Which is funny because this is the most complicated aircraft that I've flown. But definitely it has been a bit of a challenge for me to get used to. So having said that, folks, I'm going to calculate the distance that I need to be at to start my descent and get all that done. When I come back, we'll be starting our descent into Castries, and let's hope that this turns out to be a decent landing, because whew, this aircraft is something else, man. Alright, so I'll be back. Cool. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We've started our descent into St Lucia, and I did not realize this. Well, I mean, I did see it before when taking off. Although the weather for the most part is pretty good here in the Eastern Caribbean, the wind is off the chain. So the wind around here is around maybe 20 to 30 knots. So gotta keep an eye on that as we're coming in for landing. Looks like it eases up a little bit though, like as we get nearer to the land. So we're descending down to 2,000 feet. Let's take a look at our approach as well. So we're going to be doing the RNAV approach, so RNAV runway 9 approach into George F. Charles Airport in St Lucia, which is in Castries, which is near Castries, which is the northern end of St Lucia, where the capital is located. And right now we're heading towards B&E, or we should actually be kind of coming over it. Let's see if you can see it. So right down there, well, I can't really see it, but that's Huonora Airport. Huonora is the large international airport in St Lucia, but we're going to be moving over to the more smaller domestic airport located in the north. As you can see, my speed is a little high still, but we'll slow down. We'll get that in check when it's time for us to come in for a landing. Now if you look at the winds right now, we have a pretty stiff crosswind, like 30 knots. That's what I'm saying, like the wind right now is really, really strong. And we're getting buffeted around pretty good. But that 30 knot wind should be directly in our face when we're coming in for the landing. So that should actually help us. If you've seen any of my other videos before, you know that St. Lucia is one of my favorite places in the Caribbean. Oops, sorry about that. Hit the escape button. St. Lucia is one of my favorite places in the Caribbean. I have a few good friends there. And very interesting country, very mountainous. It's got the pitons, as I mentioned before, and just a pretty cool place with a pretty cool history and a pretty cool culture. So as you can see by the water, the winds are a little rough. Lots of white caps. So I'm pretty sure that's white caps, not just reflections. Which, I mean, if you've been to the Caribbean, that's nothing out of the ordinary. It's pretty common to have like really windy weather on the islands, warm and windy. You kind of get used to it. Overall though, the flight has been decent. I'm looking forward to getting some more flights in this bird just to really kind of get the hang of it, kind of get a better understanding of how it feels and what it's all about. Loving the sounds, loving the textures. Systems are modeled pretty good. Even look down here. We have the oxygen, so you can see the oxygen capacity. So that's crazy, man. That's pretty awesome. This should be armed as well. If you look over in the corner here, say we actually have the temperature here. We could set the cabin temps. It's actually pretty warm inside here. You could also set the defog if you want, or defrost if you're getting frost in the windshields. And I guess that's for AC, not really too sure. So you have one for the pilot, one for the passengers. Alright, we're hitting 2,000. Gonna start slowing down a little bit. It's gonna be 2,000 feet to the next waypoint. After which we're gonna descend to 1,800 feet. Love this view. Look at that. Love the way the water looks. Really showing how windy it is today. Alright, so dummy, we're going to descend to 1,800 feet. So I'm going to just dial that into the autopilot. Sorry about that. I made the mistake earlier of opening up this little window, caused the sim to crash. I really need to stop doing that. I'm going to set the altimeter as well here. And once we turn, we should be all lined up. Not sure what's going on there, so we're not within 1,000 feet of 1,800. Alright, so let's ascend to 2,000 now. Sorry, 1,800. Say 2,000. Alright, it's a pretty cloudy day here in St Lucia. I'm gonna go ahead and just arm the approach as well. See if this works. If not, we'll just fly this in manually. So it confused me when we landed here. Off to the right. So we do have really a crosswind, but I don't know. Oh, the runway is straight ahead. I see it. It's hidden by the clouds. It confused me last time I was here as well. Now the funny thing is, this aircraft has, it's a turboprop, it has reverse thrust, but you don't really need it, man. When you're kind of landing as slow as it does, you don't need all that stopping power, you know. All right. 2 nautical miles from Dermy. Sorry, from Savile. So yes, the third-party scenery is installed. I see a ship out here. Ship inside here as well. Hopefully I'll be capturing the Glidepath soon. If not, it's going to be all hand flying from here, folks. Yep, there we go. Glidepath is captured. Thing is, I can't see the pappies from here. So far away. 2 little white lights. As soon as this turns one white and one red, then I think I'm going to go manual. I find these on-nav approaches tend to kind of just shoot you into the ground. Don't know why. Yep, one white, one red. Gonna disconnect the autopilot. Did not like that just now. That just threw us way off course. So we just need to correct. I'm a little high, not in a good way. What is up with my computer? Alright, let's get it done. Was not a good landing at all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Castries. Pretty much just ended up dropping it on the runway. Alrighty. And there we have it, folks. I'm actually really surprised at how difficult it is to fly this aircraft. It is for me. Don't know about anybody else, but I find it really challenging. But we were able to get here in one piece, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this intro flight of the There you go. Of the Kodiak 100, brand new to Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I'm going to try and make more videos, really try and hone my skills flying this aircraft. And I look forward to bringing more videos to you guys, alright? Just get these doors open. Get some air inside here. Back up. There we go. So that is it, folks. What is this objectives doing up here? So there you go. The aircraft is available in a bunch of different stores. I bought it, I think, at what is it? Sim Flight. Just give me one sec. Get the name of it for you right quick. Yeah, so I bought it at the flightsim.com store. It's about $39, 39 Australian dollars. For me, that was about $50 or so Canadian. So I'm based in Canada, and definitely I think it's worth the price. It's a very interesting aircraft. I think you're gonna get the most out of it though if you get the G1000 NXI plus plus really go through the checklist and everything to really get a feel for the aircraft. I'm going to try and do that in the next video. In the meantime, I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. This is your boy FlyIsland guy saying stay safe, and most of all, stay fly. I'm out. Peace.